Are we rolling?
Yes, we are.
We're rolling? Okay.
Lovely.
Oh man, that was not nearly as dramatic as I wanted it to be.
This
Damn,
is.
that was underwhelming.
I have been day drinking.
There we go. Cool.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Let's Put On a Show about musicals, theater, and musical theater by someone who's really, really into all of those things.
And someone who's not so much. I'm still into it, but I'm not into it. You know, I like it, but I don't like it.
I'm Saebre,
I'm Rob.
and let's go break some legs.
No, that's the end. We do that at the end. You're getting it out of order.
That's the joke.
You're the joke. Oh, that was mean. That was really mean. I'm sorry. All right. So today, most of the time, true believers, we have a show that we watched that we want to talk to you about. But today we have something a little bit different, more in line with like a PSA, I would say.
This is something that I've been wanting to do from the beginning, and I've wanted to do something on theater etiquette because I've seen a lot of posts going around about it, and it's something. Etiquette rules are not often spoken, and that's a problem.
It is.
And I just want to knock things out of the air and just, how you should behave, rules you should respect, things to do.
And things not to do.
And things not to do.
Yeah, because oftentimes, etiquette rules are used as a fun secret code so that rich people can figure out who the poor people are. And that's not what we want. We want to fight that power.
And we also just want to make sure everyone has a nice time and no one's a dick.
Right. Because oftentimes, people are dicks.
Yeah. The stuff I'm going to talk about today is stuff that just as a theater goer, I appreciate from other patrons.
Exactly.
And starting with outside food and drink.
Oh,
so, first thing, water bottles are okay.
Yes.
Look, I get it. It's hot, it's cold, you got a cough, you need water. That's not an issue. Just, be discreet about it. Don't hit your neighbor in the head with it.
Sorry, I just had, oh man, it's so cold. I need water to warm me up.
Well, sorry, that was a logic leap in my brain.
When
it gets cold outside, I get a cough. And so.
Okay, and you want to drink some water.
And I want to have water with me so I'm not coughing on the person next to me.
Right. Because that's also, spoiler alert, a bad thing to do.
Yeah. And so, that being said, no outside food or drink. Don't bring it into the theater. If you've gone out to eat before it and have leftovers, give them to coat check. Have a cashier or the box office hold on to them, depending on what theater you're at. Most theaters have a coat check, and they'll be more than happy to stock your food for you. Most even have a fridge for that reason.
Exactly. Now, I have a few side hustles, if you'll pardon my technical terminology here. And one of them is that I work at a movie theater, which means that this is an issue that is near and dear to my heart, because the problem is not honestly, it is, but less so the idea of actually bringing your own outside food, because bringing your own outside food, it's frowned upon because that's the way that the theaters make a lot of their money. And if you want to support your local theater, movie or otherwise, you want to support them in that way. But I get it, especially if you bring something that the theater doesn't sell. It's bad, but whatever. Here's the problem, is if you don't clean up after yourself with your outside food. That's being an extra special double dick move. That's not good at all. And if I see you do it, I will just kick you in the back of the shin. Not the front of the chin.
And ask you to leave.
Yeah, the fleshy part in the back. Just enough to make you kind of stumble.
If you bring in outside food and drink and are a disruption in any way with it, you can be asked to leave a theater.
Yes, as well you should, because you deserve it. You caustic fuck.
Yeah, moving on to that.
Yeah.
If you're going to drink, don't get messy.
Yeah.
Pre-gaming is fine. Like, have a few drinks before you come to the theater.
Yeah.
You know, but like, if you know you get really messy after 5 whiskeys, stick to 4 maybe?
Yes, 4 should be your limit.
Like, I know theater drinks are expensive.
They are. God damn it, they are. I've
personal experience
this. Yeah. Like, theater drinks is like, oh, would you like to spend $12 for half a shot of whiskey? Why, don't mind if I do.
Yeah. And so I don't... Pre-gaming is not bad.
Yeah,
don't get messy.
And I would say even... maybe an exception to the outside food rule would be like a hip flask. Because that's classy.
No.
No?
Because if you get caught, you will... If you get caught, you will be removed from the theater.
Yep. Removed.
That's the terminology.
That is the terminology. Yeah. So don't bring it in.
Don't bring it in. Like,
just go to the bar around the corner where they serve drinks at a reasonable price.
Like I do nearly every time I see a show that I'm not jazzed for.
Exactly. Get buzzed, not sloshed. Get tipsy, not hammered.
Like, have a couple margaritas.
Yeah.
Like, I am very pro being drunk to go see shows, but being nicely drunk about it.
Yeah. Being like warm and friendly as opposed to, breaking a bottle and threatening someone.
Yeah. Like, my story about being drunk at the theater is this was well over a year ago at this point. I had been stood up on a date in downtown Seattle.
Which sucks.
And for those of you who know downtown Seattle, we'd been supposed to meet at Wild Ginger.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty swanky restaurant. Yeah. Reasonable drinks, though.
It's a Thai, right?
Yeah.
Or Vietnamese? Thai?
Thai fusion.
Thai fusion. Cool.
Anyway, and so I just, I'd had a drink and date wasn't there. Had a few more and it's like 6:30 and, the date was supposed to be at 5.
Oof.
So I give up. And I was just like, you know what? I've got a student ID. I'm going to walk up the street to the 5th and go see Secret Garden again.
There you go.
And the first time I'd seen Secret Garden, I was sitting like row AA off on the outside aisle, which was good. I still saw the show. It was amazing.
But AA is like...
But AA is towards the back of the orchestra.
Yeah, think of it like reverse of video game rankings, where AA is bad.
Yeah, AA... It's not bad. It's just, they finish the alphabet, so they start again with doubles.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
And so this time I go up to the box office, and I was just like, hey, here's my student ID. I'll do a rush ticket wherever you have. Like, I'm expecting to get put up the back of the balcony. Like...
Yeah.
And I get... row C, right, like, middle of the left bank. Or the right bank.
So that's like right
dead
next to the
smack.
action. Yeah.
And
right dead smack.
And this was a spiritual experience because, for those of you who listen regularly, I'm in love with Tam Mutu.
Yeah.
He was in this show.
I'm sure he was.
He was Archie.
I'm sure he was.
Anyway, so this seat happened to be right in front of where he crossed down stage during the key change in Lily's eyes.
So you got to see up his skirt.
No.
Oh, okay. I might have been thinking of something else. Go on.
Yeah. No, that was Kiss Me Kate.
Okay, well, everyone got to see up everyone's skirt in Kiss Me Kate.
But anyway, and I was sitting there and like, I am still really drunk at this point, but I'm nicely drunk, not messy drunk.
Yeah. You're not
and
threatening to vom onto the front row.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And this key change comes and I'm just sitting there and like just something magical came over me and I'm just staring up going, wow.
Your head rolled back.
This is theater.
Everything relaxed and your spine just slid right out of your anus.
I still have my spine. Thank you very much.
Well, yeah, you get it back afterwards.
But anyway, and that was a spiritual experience, and that's why I'm totally fine with people drinking before shows.
Right. And also sometimes you have to see Mamma Mia and no one wants to do that.
Yeah, that's its own thing.
Yeah.
So that being said, pre-gaming is okay. Don't bring your own booze in.
Don't bring your own booze. I was kidding before. I wasn't actually kidding, but on retrospect, yeah, don't do it.
Yeah.
I know it's expensive. Don't, if you're going to drink before or pony up, buy the, $15 beer.
It's only $9.
For Miller Lite, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Theater drinks are expensive.
True.
But if you absolutely have to drink, I want you to question your priorities.
Yeah. Why are you going to see this if you have to be drunk to even get through it?
Yeah.
And
then, so, my next thing after that is, If you're going to need accommodations, just ask. If you know you're going to have to get up several times during the performance, just talk to the box office, and they can probably move you to like an outside aisle seat where you won't have to go over anyone to get up.
Yeah, think of it like airplane rules, where like if you need extra leg room, you can ask and they might put you in an exit aisle seat.
Yeah.
If you need to get up during the flight, ask for an aisle seat. They'll probably be able to give you one.
Yeah.
If you need to get up during the play, same thing. If you need extra leg room, you're fucked. You're shit out of luck. There's no leg room anywhere. All these fucking theaters were made in the fucking 1910s by people with cholera and syphilis. Sorry, go on.
Anyway, and do go to the outside aisle because the inner aisle will disrupt people on either side of the aisle, whereas the outside aisle, you can just nip off to the back.
Yeah. You can hop up, go, do a bump of coke in the bathroom and come back.
Mm-hmm. And that being said, most theaters have a quiet or a cry room.
Yeah.
And these are things, you don't have to have a kid to use them. Traditionally, that's where, like, if you bring a young child that starts crying, you go sit in the cry room, you can still see the show, but the crying doesn't disrupt everyone else.
So, yeah, you can go to the cry room for any reason.
Yeah,
right?
like, basically. Yeah. Like, I went in there one time just because I could not stand the way the guy sitting next to me smelled.
What did he smell like?
Cologne. Oh, he was just wearing too much cologne.
Yeah. Quick, can I add, like,
a
piece of etiquette here, which is... just in general, not theater specific, but in general, you do not need to advertise how fancy your cologne is to the nearest square city block.
Yeah.
Please stop, everyone. 2
sprays in the air and walk through it.
Yeah. Don't.
Like,
it is not, under any circumstances, a substitute for bathing or deodorant.
As someone who is masculine in presentation, 2 sprays, walk through it, you'll smell yourself all day.
Yeah.
And the only people who should smell you is someone who's making out with you.
Right. Unless you're the sort of person who, like, has cologne instead of a personality, you don't need it.
And even then, you don't need it.
Even then, you don't need it. Because, you know what? I'm sure that you're great on your own. You don't need that. You just need to smell kind of classy and sophisticated.
Alrighty, so...
Also, if any cologne you buy is a synonym in any language for penis, don't buy it.
What?
Do you remember Bod?
No.
Bod brand.
Vaguely, yeah. They like tried
cologne.
To compete with Axe and then just went down in
flames. But it was Bod, B-O-D, but in Celtic, Bod means penis. So, just don't go for that. Yeah. Anyway, going back to the theater, be sure to use the cry room if you want to. If you need it for any reason. If it's just...
Yeah. If you just need to stand up and pace, go to the back. Like, I'm going to use the Fifth because that's where most of my theater experiences have been recently. Mm. It's at the back of the orchestra. It's great. Yeah. Like, there is... when I saw Fun Home, I had a sprained ankle and, like... I couldn't sit still anymore, and I had to get up in somewhere where I could just constantly flex my leg for a little while. And I, grabbed an usher and was just like, hey, and they're just like, oh, no, go in. You don't have to have a kid. Mm. And, like, especially just, like, be polite about things. Like, don't just assume.
This is, that's just a general purpose.
That's just a general
rule.
Be nice thing.
Like, especially when you're at the theater, because it is, for want of a better term, a classy thing to do, right? Mm-hmm. Like, going to the theater, like, going to the movies is its own thing. Going to the theater, be extra respectful, because you're not...
Everyone in that building is making their living from this.
Exactly. And everyone in this building is probably going to be passionate about this, and that's why they're doing it. Mm-hmm. So they're going to take it extra personally if you are an asshole to them.
And that brings me to my next point. Sit down, shut up, and enjoy the show.
Yeah, because...
Or at least don't talk and disrupt it. Like, you don't... I'm not saying you have to enjoy it. There are some shows you're not going to enjoy.
Yes, which I'm
sorry if you found a show that does that for you, but they happen. Hey, no judgment.
Yeah, shit happens.
Like, and if it is that bad, it's okay to leave at intermission. I would prefer you didn't, but personal choice, yo.
Yeah, do what you gotta do. But,
and don't talk to the person you're with during the show.
No.
Like, a sotto voce joke during applause is as far as you go.
I'm glad you included that, because I was starting to feel really bad.
No, like...
Because I do that a fair amount. But I try to make it so that it's not something where I'm like, advertising to the rest of the row, like, ha ha ha, my witty bon mot.
Yeah, no, like during, like everyone's clapping, you're just like, hey, did you see the gams on that girl? That's fine. I don't know why that's where I went.
Gams? Do they go all the way up, or do they just end in a strange, like, amorphous middle area? It's hard to say because of that skirt. It's so long. But yeah, and the thing is, I feel like this is something that should be obvious, and it probably seems obvious saying it out loud, like to not say, like, speak out loud or be disruptive. But the thing is that it's kind of easy to forget in that space when you're used to seeing things like TV shows or movies in a movie theater, that the thing you're watching is not pre-recorded. What you're looking at is happening live in front of you. I know that sounds like the most obvious thing in the fucking world, but it is kind of easy to forget.
It is.
Because the people there are so...
well rehearsed.
Like, so well rehearsed, so talented, that you're like, this can't possibly be happening like in front of me.
It's like, slight segue, there was... I saw Kiss Me Kate like twice or three times, I forget. Yeah. But there was one performance during Wunderbar where her dressing gown got caught on the doorknob. Because they're supposed to go between their dressing rooms, but they couldn't go all the way in, and like they kept the rhythm and like were smiling and laughing, and like finally he was able to get it and unhook it for them to land the beat on the chaise.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, one of those moments where it's like, oh, that's right, this is live.
Right. Like, that's the thing, is like, unless it's sort of like, it's like God. If God's doing its job right, you don't notice it. It's like that with the theater. You won't notice that they're live people, like, giving a performance that's different from the last one they gave, if they do their job properly, if that makes sense. So yeah, don't speak
during the performance.
Don't speak during the play. Like,
don't talk during the performance.
Like, unless you have an emergency and you need to, like, say,
yeah,
hey guys, I need to skedaddle.
Yeah, like if you're a doctor and suddenly got your pager and you have to go save a little kid, that's fine. Whatever. It's a one-off. You're going to leave the theater.
Yeah, or
people will forgive you.
It's like, oh my, it appears that my appendix is exploding. Please help me.
Yeah, like discovering you have a kidney stone or an appendix. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, most people have an appendix.
Discovering your appendix is bursting.
Discovering that your appendix has kidney stones.
An emergency is an emergency, and that's a
special exception.
Yeah. So after that, my next note is just get in the fucking line for the bathroom at intermission.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're just like, oh, I don't want to wait in line. But the thing is they have ushers monitoring those lines, and they will hold the curtain until everyone is through the bathroom. But if you wait until the very end, they're not going to have counted you in that line, and so you might miss the opening of Act 2. Right.
And even worse, don't go during the intermission, but instead get up during the play to go to the bathroom when no one's there. Unless that's disruptive.
Yeah, unless it's a medical emergency thing.
Yeah, or you're just going to like water the row in front of you if you don't get the fuck up and go.
Yeah, and no, and that goes back to my first point of if you need accommodations, just ask.
Yeah.
If you know you're probably going to have to get up during the performance, get an outside aisle seat.
Yeah. Or if it just sneaks up on you, like don't make a big fuss. Don't
just stand up, say I'm sorry, and go out. Up. And then
the one exception to the no talking rule is the sotto voce. Excuse me. As you walk out the
and that's fine. And if you come back to your seat, wait until an applause break.
Yeah,
because that will be the easiest, least disruptive to all of the people in your row if you're sitting in a row.
Sorry, I just looked at your notes and saw like all the in caps thing. We'll get to that.
We'll
later.
get to that.
Yeah. You look very angry when you wrote that.
Yeah. So yeah, just get in the line for the bathroom during intermission. Don't chance it. They will hold curtain.
Yeah.
Like,
because they know that people fucking need to pee. And they also need to buy extravagantly expensive drinks.
Yeah. And if you're going to drink during the intermission, pre-order your drink. Saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
And they will also hold lines if there's a huge line for concessions.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they will hold on.
They know that this is their business.
Yeah. Because that's where they make their money, is with the concessions and with getting repeat customers, and being an asshole to people and making them miss the beginning of the second act is not conducive to that.
Yeah. So, like, they won't hold it for, like, 2 or 3 people. So if you're one of the last people running out to do the thing, you're going to miss the first act.
Yeah, you're SOL.
But
especially if you have to S.
Yeah. But if you run out at the beginning and just get in the bathroom line, you're probably not going to miss the opening.
No,
like,
it's going to be a bit of a wait, because there's always a bit of a wait.
Theater has been around for a long time. They've got this down to a science.
Yeah.
So, after that, we've already beat into the, don't talk during the performance. My next one is stay for the fucking curtain call.
Yeah.
Like,
stay for the curtain call.
Like,
seriously.
seriously.
Where do you have to be that's so important?
Yeah, seriously. Like, I know you want to get out before the crowd, but this is what the actors do for a living. This is what they live for.
Right. This is what they are passionate about. And you're basically...
saying, you're not important enough to me, I have to get to my car.
It's the equivalent of just kind of, instead of, leaving money on the nightstand, just kind of throwing a handful of loose change at the prostitute's face and then leaving.
Yeah. Like, it's...
Sorry, that metaphor got weird on me as I was saying it. So, I guess the prostitutes
But yeah, stay for the curtain call, because one thing I noticed during Mamma Mia... As we talked about, there's a mini concert after the show ends for Mamma Mia, if you ever see it.
Yeah, that's stretching the definition of curtain call, but go ahead.
But anyway, so, like, as soon as, like, the last note hit and people started clapping, there's, like, so many people who just walked out and left and missed the next 20 minutes because of that.
Yeah.
And they missed an awesome ABBA concert.
I mean...
it was the best part of the show.
ABBA cover concert, but yes.
It was the best part of the show.
Indeed. And the thing is that, like, when you leave like that, you're basically saying, my, temporary convenience is worth more than thanking you for the 2+ hours of entertainment.
Intense effort that
you just did. It's
like...
It is effectively refusing to say thank you.
And even if you didn't love the show, stay for the curtain call.
Right.
Because it probably wasn't the actor's fault you didn't like the show.
No.
Most of the time when I haven't liked shows... it's been because there was something wrong with the writing, or, like, they took a turn and I was just like, oh.
Or the directing was kind of weird.
Or the show just shouldn't have been made in the first place. Love Never Dies.
Yeah. The actors in Love Never Dies were very good.
They were very nice. I loved them. I met them at the stage door.
Yeah, they were very good.
And I told them how great their performances were, which was not a lie, because their performances were great.
They were very good. What they had to work with was... let's say...
atrocious.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's under subpar? Like,
just fully under par.
Carved out a sub-basement in subpar. Yeah, that was a thing. Is it weird that I actually enjoyed Love Never Dies more than I enjoyed Mamma Mia, though, just because it was so terrible, and I was like, how low can we go?
Yeah, like how deep are we digging this hole?
How silly and nonsensical and stupid can we make this?
Okay, and following that, once the curtain call is done, you will know because the house lights have come back up.
Yep.
To those people who's like, oh, how do I know when the curtain call's done? They bring the house lights back up. They have rehearsed this. It's not
surgery.
hard.
Yeah.
After that, my next note is the 5-block rule.
Yes.
Lynn Miranda introduced me to this.
And it's so important that I'm going to go and get a beer and let you explain it in its entirety.
Okay. So Lin-Manuel Miranda has had a rule that I've adopted, which is called the 5-block rule, which is you don't talk about... if you're walking away from the theater, you don't talk about the show within 5 blocks because you have no idea who in the crowd around you has been involved in this show. And whether you loved it or hate it, just keep it to yourself. Talk about the weather, talk about, a movie you saw unrelated or your day at work before you came to see the show. And then after the 5-block rule, you can start to talk about it. I usually prefer to wait until I'm in the privacy of my own apartment to start talking about it.
Yeah, or a nearby bar.
Or a nearby bar. Yes, we've done that multiple times.
Yeah. But related to that, this includes not just negative comments, but positive comments as well. Because you don't know who's planning to see the show.
Yeah.
And hasn't yet.
Yeah. You don't want to spoil it for some random passerby who's planning to see it the next night.
And if you were like leaving the theater, you clearly just saw it, and they can't help but be spoiled, basically.
Yeah. And that being said, if you've come to see the show and you listen to this podcast, you probably stage door.
Yeah.
And this is just the most important thing to me. Stage door is a privilege, not a right. Stage door is a privilege, not a right.
Yes.
These actors have just been basically running a marathon for the last 3 hours, Probably even more than that.
Yeah. It's not fucking easy.
And meeting your favorite actor is cool.
It is.
But it's in no way required of them to stage door.
No.
Like, every person that I like that I have met at a stage door, I have thought is like, I am so glad they came out today. I am so happy with this. I have a whole album of selfies from stage doors.
Yeah. Not to foment any drama, and we might cut this out. It sounds like this might be directed specifically at someone we both know. Some comments that he made in the last in Moulin Rouge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We might cut that out.
We might cut that out. Yeah. Like you said, it's his privilege, not a right.
Yeah.
People have all sorts of reasons to want to just beat a fast retreat or just don't want to talk.
Yeah, like, so when I saw Once on This Island, I was disappointed that Isaac Powell didn't do the stage door. And I was disappointed. Like, and it's okay to be disappointed as long as you're not mad at the actor.
No, it's a perfectly, like,
it's a valid
emotion to be disappointed you didn't get to see this person up close.
And like, I was sad that I didn't get to see Isaac Powell, but then, like, following social media like I did, I found out that he was about to go on vacation with his boyfriend to Miami. And
he just wanted to go.
And he wanted to see his boyfriend, who plays Plankton in SpongeBob. He's dating Wes Taylor.
I'm so glad that I know that now. I don't know who Isaac Powell is, but I'm glad that Plankton got a boyfriend.
Yeah, no, they are super adorable. Follow them on social media. But it's okay to be disappointed if your favorite actor doesn't stage door after a show.
But you don't know why that happened. It could be any number of reasons. Maybe they fucking broke their foot.
Maybe they broke their foot. Maybe they have a vocal strain. Maybe they have an appointment with someone. Maybe, like, they're heading on vacation with their boyfriend. Yeah. You don't know, and, like...
And it's not your right to know.
And it's not your right to know. Like, they are still people.
Yeah. Let them share if they want.
And if you absolutely, absolutely have to meet this person, then come back another night. Yeah. Like, the show...
Or usually there's, like... if you have the means, aren't there usually, like, kind of VIP meet and greet kind of things you can do?
Not for musical theater.
Not for musical theater? Okay.
Like, concerts, yes.
All right. I was misinformed in that case.
Yeah, the VIP meet...
Strike that from the record.
The VIP meet and greet, that was because it was Jeremy Jordan's concert with his wife. Okay. That's why we were able to do the meet and greet, was because it was a concert.
Yep. And you could tell because of the concertina that everyone was forced to eat before the play.
That is not how that concert went.
Really?
You weren't even there.
That might have been a dream I had.
Yeah.
That was probably a dream I had. Okay.
So, and that being said, like, come back another night. If you can afford to buy another ticket for the show, buy another ticket for the show. Otherwise, like, about when this show got out, so you can come back another night and figure it out.
Yeah. I'm good. Would you like to hop on a microphone?
I'm good.
Okay. Oh, yeah. This is Kaylin. Say hi, Kaylin.
Hi.
This one.
Yeah. Okay. This one's live.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm judging them.
Awesome. Now I can use the cast photo we took and say that we were all on the musical at one point, or on the podcast at one point.
Put that there.
Except for Kate. I'll just paste my face over Kate.
Well, Kate will be on here eventually.
Eventually. Sorry. Anyway, we're talking about etiquette.
So come back another night if you absolutely want to meet that actor. Like,
yes.
It's, and like, even, I hesitate to say this, but like, you can tweet and ask nicely, hey, are you planning to stage door tonight?
Yeah.
And if they see it, they might respond. Like, yeah. I'm not going to say they will respond. I just happen to have good luck with that kind of shit.
Yeah. It's
and like,
very possible.
I would like all of our listeners to keep in mind that I love seeing shows multiple times. Like, I saw Secret Garden 3 times. I saw Something Rotten 5 times.
Quick question. How many times have you seen Newsies?
Live?
No. Do you have a number, or is it more of an estimate?
It's more of an estimate.
All right, what is it?
It's like 78.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's on Netflix. So Newsies for me is one of the things I can put on and either pay attention or not. And so, like, I can tune out of it and disassociate for an hour and come back and be like, oh, okay, Crutchy's back. Cool. And go on with my life.
Yeah. Point is, we are in no position to throw stones when it comes to seeing shows multiple times.
But pre-recorded shows are different than live shows.
True. I've watched 1776 a lot, so
Yeah.
less expensive.
I've seen Hamilton twice.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
Hey, whatever.
Hey, whatever.
Like, I've seen Something Rotten 5 times, 6 if you count seeing it in New York.
Sure. Why wouldn't I?
Well, because different tour casts and.
Okay.
When I saw it in New York,
Is this a heated point of contention in the Something Rotten fandom?
in the Me fandom.
Okay, in your own specific Something Rotten fandom.
Well, because the cast I saw was Brian Darcy James and Christian Borle and Edward Hibbert and like really solid cast, and then the tour cast was completely different and also really solid, but completely different.
Yeah.
Like Rob McClure was not trying to imitate Brian Darcy James's performance. Adam Pascal was not trying to imitate Christian Borle's performance, and I can hear you guys whispering over there.
I can't hear them, so that's good. How are we doing on time, by the way? One of you guys.
6:35.
No,
on the recording.
We are at 30 minutes and 41 seconds.
Okay, cool. So, stage door.
So stage door.
Be polite. Don't
Privilege,
be an asshole.
not a right. Like,
And
ask...
and in general, don't be an asshole to the performers.
Yeah.
If you didn't like even if you didn't like their performance, now they're the worst part of the play, just be like, hey, good job.
Yeah. Like, and ask for an autograph. Ask for the autographs. Don't just shove your playbill at them. Be like, hey, can I grab your autograph? Or, hey, can I take a selfie with you? And most of the time, they'll be like, heck yeah, come here.
Yeah.
And do it. And then, but that also gives them the point, because I have had refusals, because there's several times where one of them was like, I really just don't like the way I look, just please no. I'm just like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. Please sign my playbill.
Yeah, exactly. And it helps to bring a pen.
Yeah. And always have your own Sharpies.
Yes.
I work in food service. I have so many. Mm-hmm. But
I have paintbrushes. That would be fun.
But no.
Like, hey, can you sign your name and present them with like a pot of acrylic paint and a paintbrush?
Are you kidding? They would love that.
Yeah.
Like, so story time from Something Rotten when I was at the stage door, my boss wasn't able to see it and said something like passingly joking about, oh, I'd love to get a Shakespeare action figure signed by the actor playing Shakespeare.
There you go.
And I was like, well, I know where I can acquire both of those things. Because I live right next to an Archie McPhee's.
Oh, Archie McPhee's. By the by, guys, if you haven't been to Archie McPhee's, you are missing out. This podcast not brought to you by Archie McPhee's. We're just fans.
Yeah. And so...
For all your rubber chicken needs, and also nuns that shoot fire.
Opening night, when I saw it, I had made a point to run to Archie McPhee's beforehand and grab the Shakespeare action figure. And then at the stage door, like... Adam Pascal came out and signed it, and like I've been in love with him since I was 14. It was amazing. Mm-hmm. But then I had the bright idea. So for those of you unaware of Something Rotten, it's about two brothers who are playwrights competing with Shakespeare. Shakespeare is the villain of the story.
Yeah.
And so when Rob McClure came out, I was just like, hey, can you deface this Shakespeare action figure? And he did. And he, like, I have a picture of his face, which was just, oh my God. No one has ever asked me to do this. I didn't know this existed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like, one of my favorite pictures. I also have a selfie with him and his wife, Maggie, who played B on the tour, and they were amazing together.
Gotcha.
I love Something Rotten. I am literally wearing my Something Rotten hoodie today.
Yeah. Well, you were until you took it off in the middle of that monologue.
I was until I took it off, like, 30 seconds ago, because it's really warm in here.
Yep.
I've had, like, a lot of podcast juice. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah. Thank you, The Greatest Generation, who coined the term podcast fluid. So
podcast fluid, all right.
Yes.
But yeah, so that being said, just like if you're gonna stage door, which is totally cool, it's one of my favorite parts of the theater going experience. I stage doored every goddamn show I saw on the East Coast.
Yeah. And I've stage doored a few, and even though I'm not like super into autographs, like there were a couple of people where I was like, you know what, I'd like to get a photo with this guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then there was like, after Hunchback, the first time I saw it, which was not with you, I like got to stand off to the side and had like a 15-minute conversation with Alan Fitzpatrick about like the ups and downs of the show and like nitty gritty like theater stuff.
Yeah.
And
so you
like,
can get like an insider perspective by doing this. So
and
we're
like
not
also
discouraging that.
Also, like, if you can't think of anything to say, I loved you, great job, is perfectly acceptable. But if you have a question, ask it. Like, so when I saw Phantom of the Opera on Broadway, I got, I saw Jerem Strong Johnson as Raoul.
Jerem Strong Johnson.
And he was, to me, most notably in the Sweeney Todd concert from 2014 as Antony. And Philip Quast was Judge Turpin in that production, and I just absolutely idolize Philip Quast as an actor. Just, it's a thing.
Yep.
And so, like, at the stage door for Phantom, I was like, oh, hey, what was it like working with Philip Quast? And he, like, did this adorable little head shake, just like, oh, actual actor question. It was amazing. And just like, talked to me for a while. And then also at that stage tour, I got to meet Jason Forbach for the, like, 5th time. Because he was in our production of Secret Garden here in Seattle at the 5th. And then he was also in Les Mis, the revival on Broadway. I saw him as Anji. And I saw Secret Garden like 3 times. So it was like the 5th time I'd met him.
One time I saw Pierce Brosnan on a beach.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think it was him.
Well, remember, Danny DeVito is also not your dad.
We're not going to go into that for right now.
Okay. So, yeah, no, I've run into a lot of
I'm going to throw out here, though, that Danny DeVito is not most people's dads.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyhow.
So that is most of my etiquette rules.
Yeah, and I think they're pretty strong rules. I think that most of them can boil down to, honestly, part of what you said, which is privilege, not a right.
Mm-hmm.
Treat this experience of going to live theater, especially if it's local live theater of an untested show. Treat it as a very special experience. Remember that most people are not going to get to see this. And no one, or like almost no one, is going to get to see the exact performance that you're about to see. It's going to be different for everyone. And you are insanely lucky to be able to afford to see this, and that you're going to get to see the specific version that you see. Mm-hmm. So think of it that way. Don't think of it as, I paid money, I get this service. Think of it as, I paid money, I get to have this experience.
Another thing that reminded me, and I hadn't thought about yet, is if you get a performance with an understudy, don't be upset about it.
No.
Like, I know, like, maybe you're coming to see the show for a specific actor, and that specific actor is out for that performance. Yeah. It's not their fault. Like, chances are they're very sick. Someone close to them is very sick. Like, they physically cannot perform that day. Like, actors are incredibly dedicated. They only call out if they absolutely cannot do it.
Right.
And understudies are fucking amazing.
They are. Like, this is getting into, like, my secret origins, but when I was a wee lad, my mom took me to New York, and we saw some plays on Broadway. And one of the ones we saw was Seussical, in, I believe, its original run.
Probably, which was kind of weird because it was all played by adults.
It was, but here's the thing. In that performance, there was a normal guy that played Horton, of Horton Hears a Who fame.
Yeah.
And we did not get that guy. Instead, we got the understudy. And I cannot imagine someone else playing that part with that amount of, like, warmth and dedication.
Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe the other guy was like better somehow, but I can't think of how. Well, so I'm glad that I got to see the performance with that understudy. I wish I could remember his name.
Yeah, in my experience, like, so I saw Les Mis on Broadway after Ramin had left the show. I was supposed to see Alfie Boe, but he was out that night, and so I saw his standby. Standbys and understudy are different.
They are.
Understudies are scheduled to go on. Standbys are last minute. Oh God, I can't.
Yeah.
And so I saw Alfie Boe standby, J. Michael Finley, who was just fucking amazing. And I also saw the standby Javert, who was Adam Monley, and he was also just fucking amazing. And, like, I was a little disappointed to get to see Alfie Boe because he was, Alfie Boe.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is.
He was Jean Valjean in the 25th concert.
And Jean Valjean was in Phantom, right?
He has played Phantom, yeah.
Jean Valjean played the Phantom? Wow, that's amazing. Didn't he die?
I know what
Spoiler
you're trying.
alert, I guess.
I know what you're trying to get at here.
Yes, yeah.
But no, Alfie Boe. And then I saw Kinky Boots, and I was supposed to see Wayne Brady. Which,
can I just say, amazing casting. I didn't know that happened. I'm so glad that I know about that now.
Yeah, he's played Lola like 3 different times.
Yep.
And I saw his standby, who was also amazing.
Yeah.
And then I saw a bunch of standbys and understudies on that trip. Like when I saw Something Rotten, I saw Heidi Blickenstaff stand by, who I feel bad I can't remember her name right now. But she was amazing. No, when I saw Spring Awakening, they were all there.
Yeah.
And
I think we have an interjection here. All right. Interjection. Hello, Kaylin.
Hi, Kaylin is here
Yeah.
to say I have seen Phantom professionally 5 times, I believe. Best Jean Valjean I ever saw was also Alfie Bo's Understudy, but in the London run of Les Mis.
I was gonna say, like, wait, hold on.
I'm mixing up my shows.
Yeah,
but you
everyone's
also
mixing
saw
up
Hadley
shows.
Fraser live, so I still hate you.
Yes, and he was still terrible.
Wow.
Yeah.
A strong opinion.
That was the first day we met. We had this conversation.
Oof. And yet you're still best friends.
Yep.
Amazing.
Anyway, so if somebody is a standby or understudy for Alfie Bo, they're going to be amazing, I think, is the lesson here.
Also, the lesson, I think the best way to make friends with someone is just straight up insult their religion. That's the best way. Just say, no, your religion is false.
Just like your religion is my religion, and it's false.
Yes.
No, he's implying my religion is Hadley Fraser.
Am I wrong?
Yes. My religion is musical theater. Thank you very much.
Okay, fine. Your Messiah is wrong. How about that?
He's just cool.
Musical theater Jesus. His name is... probably not actually Hadley Fraser. He's like probably musical theater John the Baptist.
I was gonna yeah, he'd be more that. Like musical theater Jesus to me, like, oh gosh.
I mean, Tam Mutu has the hair.
Yeah.
I mean, but so does Aaron.
Aaron Tveit.
Yeah.
Right.
Aaron's got the better Jesus hair at the moment.
But Tam Mutu isn't so white bread.
That's true.
Yeah. Hey guys, remember the fact that Jesus was from Israel in the Middle East. Sorry, I'm going off on a weird political religious tangent
Kyle
here.
Scatliff.
I
Kyle Scatliff is musical theater Jesus.
All right. I don't know who that is.
He's a very, very tall, very pretty black man who played Jefferson and Lafayette in the Philip tour of Hamilton. He was the original Enjolras in the revival of Les Mis.
Okay, so I see
The second revival of Les Mis.
I see that you are Reform musical theater and not Orthodox.
He's also a Seattle boy.
Okay. This went off on a weird tangent, as things tend to do. We were talking about etiquette.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
And musical theater Jesus.
Musical
Kyle
theater
Scatliff.
Jesus.
Good to
Kyle
know.
Scatliff. Okay. If anyone knows Kyle Scatliff, please don't mention this to him.
Heck, I was planning on tagging him on Twitter.
Well, let's see where this goes. Anyway, yeah. So, in the end, remember that you are seeing something special, something that is unique.
Yeah,
Literally never going to happen in the same way again.
You might see the same show again, but you will not see the same show again.
You will see a different show.
It's like one thing, like I talk to people a lot, like I'll get to talking with Lyft drivers and stuff and like being like, oh yeah, these shows are all coming to Seattle. And they're like, oh, I've seen West Side Story before and I've seen Annie before and I've seen Phantom before. And I'm just like, yes, but you haven't seen these specific productions of them.
Right. Like, did you know that the most recent production of West Side Story cast actual sharks as the sharks and actual jets as the jets?
That's why it was so expensive.
Yeah, it was Nathan Warthog played the lead, and it was one of those Mako sharks that played.
Oh boy,
what's her name?
Maria.
Maria, yeah.
Not actually.
Just sharks on stage flopping around. I want to be in America.
The entire ensemble of Left Shark.
Yes. Oh yes. All right, I want to see this now.
Yeah.
At least, like,
no, I guarantee
okay,
you.
if anyone can draw, please get me fan art of actual sharks and actual jets playing the sharks.
I'm
and
sure
jets.
it's already been done.
I'm probably, but make new ones.
Well,
for me,
no.
please.
Like, I am pretty sure. So the Fifth Avenue Theater is doing it next May through June. Is doing West Side Story, and I guarantee you, if you follow social media, someone will show up to rehearsal in a Left Shark costume.
Amazing.
Like, this is Seattle.
It is Seattle, land of dreams.
Yeah. But I think recapping everything, just like treat the people around you how you'd want to be treated. Don't be a dick. And remember that everyone on that stage worked so hard to be there.
Yeah. And like I said, especially these rules apply if you are seeing local, small, indie productions, because those are probably going to be in smaller theaters. Mm-hmm. which means that you are that much more like visible and audible to the people on stage.
And please laugh when, like...
Please clap.
Yeah, please clap. Please laugh if there's a joke. Like, and if there's something only you find funny, please laugh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, because there was a moment in Something Rotten, the 5th time I saw it, which was the 3rd to last performance. Like, this show, if Something Rotten comes on tour to your city, please see it. It is so goddamn funny.
I've heard songs from it, and they are pretty gold, honestly.
Like, but anyway, there's a moment in the middle of the 2nd act when everything's going down and you know, Nick is revealed with all the deception he's pulled, and Shakespeare is...
Spoiler alert.
Well, that's why I'm saying all the deception. I'm not saying what he was doing. And Shakespeare's there, and he says to Shakespeare, "You will not make an ass of me." And I laughed.
Uh-huh.
Because the character's name is Nick Bottom.
And Bottom,
and
as
Nick
some
Bottom,
of you might know,
in Midsummer's Night's Dream, famously gets turned into a donkey.
Yeah. Well, isn't the character just called Bottom in A Midsummer Night's Dream?
No, it's Nick Bottom.
Really? Full-on Nick Bottom?
Yeah, full-on Nick Bottom.
Didn't know that.
Like, they refer to him as his last name.
Yeah,
but
most
his
of the
name
time.
is Nick Bottom.
Yeah.
Played by Kevin Kline in the movie adaptation. Why do I know that?
I don't know. You like Kevin Kline?
He's good.
Oh, I like Kevin Kline.
Yeah, I don't dislike him.
Yeah, he's good.
But anyway.
He was good in Lovely.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Anyway.
John Barrowman is in that movie.
Man,
but that's a sidetrack.
Who isn't in that movie?
Good question.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, and I laughed, and I was the only one in the theater to laugh. And then at the stage door, I met Rob McClure, and it was just like, I finally got that joke. And he was just like, thank you. Someone else gets that joke.
Finally.
Someone got that joke. And I'm just like, because I'm a fucking nerd and I've seen the show 5 times.
Yay. There are benefits, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there are benefits.
Yeah. And just in general, treat people well. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't think you have to, you do. And, I mean, even if you don't, you should.
Yeah, just, like, be nice to people. That's
Yeah.
all we really ask.
Yeah. And if someone says, hey, quit it, probably...
Be nice to them.
Be nice to them. And
Nice to them. Nice them into the ground.
Yeah.
Like, that was, like, my most fitting revenge ever, was there was a girl in my office who we butted heads a lot.
Uh-huh.
And she kept trying to, like, undermine me and stuff when I'd suggest stuff. And, like... I would just shrug it off and go about my job, and that annoyed her to no end.
I feel like we've moved away from musical theater etiquette at this point.
Yeah. But anyway, I was just super nice to her and super polite, and, like, not in a condescending way either. I like to think I'm a nice person.
Yeah. And generally you're very polite.
Okay. But yeah, anyway, be polite to people. It annoys them, and that's the best part.
Yeah. As my mom's bumper sticker says, love your enemies. It really gets them confused.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well
I think that's it, yeah.
Yeah, that's been our theater etiquette.
One thing, always wear a hat and take it off before the performance.
Yes.
If you see other people wearing hats, ask them where their hats are.
And make sure they take them off.
And make sure they make them off. Like, yeah, if people aren't wearing hats, they are in breach of etiquette. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to wear a hat to the theater.
Not really.
Yes, really.
Not really.
I mean, no.
But do wear a hat if you think it's fancy.
Yeah. Or like one of those Pika Haubes from World War I, the pointy helmets.
But make sure you take it off before the performance starts.
Oh, yes. That would be rude.
Yeah. Wear whatever the heck you want as long as you won't get arrested.
Yeah.
But try and dress nice. This is a nice place. People put a lot of work into this.
Yes, exactly. You want to dress nice.
Yeah.
That's not like really, I mean, it's etiquette, but it's not like do or die etiquette.
Yeah, they're not going to kick you out for wearing a pair of jeans.
Yeah. They might kick you out for eating crackers.
Yeah. Or is that just your ex?
Okay.
This has been Let's Put On a Show. We have done a theater etiquette thing.
And after that, I figure that it's fair to tell you all to go out and very politely break some legs. Let's Put On a Show is a production of Blood and Thunder Publications, all rights reserved. Our entrance and exit music is Ragamama by Purple Planet Music. And apparently in the episode, Saebre said Adam Monley was the standby Javert. That was incorrect. He was the principal at the time that Saebre saw the show. So for all the people following along at home, I'm so sorry for this misinformation. I hope you can forgive me. Have a great day.